Life. We can either be bystanders or creators. Now is the time to awaken to your divine identity and the power of the I Am within, to create a joyous and fulfilled life no matter what your circumstances are. There are answers to life's big questions, and there is a spiritual path that you can walk in this modern world that leads to soul liberation and ascension. In this dawning age of Aquarius, we're called upon to manifest the light of the mighty I Am presence to the world.
Hello and welcome back to our Studies on Alchemy series and episode 3 today, The Sacred Science of Self-Mastery, Freedom, Responsibility, and the Now. When you hear the word alchemy, what comes to mind? Does it conjure up images of cloaked figures hunched over bubbling flasks, hoping to turn lead into gold? Here's another image. Saint Germain, in Studies in Alchemy, says the real gold is far greater. It's the freedom of the soul. He calls this the sacred science, a science not of metals alone, but of self. Long ago, the early alchemists risked ridicule and persecution to search out hidden laws of nature. Yes, some truly sought riches, but others were after something more profound, the key to life itself. Saint Germain honors them for their courage, but he insists that their real legacy was not the formulas they left behind, but their dedication. They taught us something vital. Alchemy is a discipline of destiny. It is a sacred science meant to enrich life, not impoverish it. He says self-mastery is the key to all self-knowledge, and you must acknowledge without question that you yourself are the alchemist who shall determine the design of your creation. This chapter pivots on a startling truth. Before you can master matter, you must master yourself. That might sound simple, but Saint Germain reminds us that every day we are surrounded by a hypnotic fog of human thoughts and feelings. He calls them seething vortices of discord that press upon nearly everyone on earth. Think about that for a moment. How many of our decisions are truly our own, and how many are reactions? Echoes of fear, doubt, or anger picked up from the atmosphere around us. This is why Jesus said, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Truth clears the fog. Self-mastery begins with knowing who you really are, not what society, family, or even fear tells you. Saint Germain is clear. The alchemist must be consciously aware of his God-given freedom to create. But freedom without responsibility is chaos. He instructs, beauty and righteousness must be emblazoned upon the left and right to remind the would-be alchemist of his responsibility to God and man, to behold his works before releasing them, to see that they are indeed good, and good for all men. This echoes Genesis, where God looked upon creation and saw that it was good. Every act of creation, whether a word spoken in anger or a thought released in love, carries weight. It shapes destinies, not only our own, but those around us. One striking statement in Saint Germain's challenge to what he calls the myth of human equality. He doesn't mean that souls are not equal in worth, but that each soul has unique talents, lessons, and purposes. What matters most is the equal opportunity to bring forth the Christ potential within. Paul spoke of this diversity when he wrote, "There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God, which worketh all in all." The sacred science, then, is not about forcing sameness, but about encouraging each soul to blossom according to its own divine design. Saint Germain also reminds us that knowledge is not always freely given. Many of the early alchemists withheld discoveries, not out of selfishness, but because humanity was not ready. Wisdom must be guarded until there is enough love and justice to use it rightly. This sounds very much like Jesus' own words. I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. The sacred science is progressive. Each truth comes when the heart is prepared to receive it. One of the most beautiful parts of this lesson is Saint Germain's call to focus on the now. Too often, he says, people lament what they didn't know in the past, wishing they had received wisdom sooner. But he urges us to see the present moment as God's hour. He writes, "The fading hieroglyphs of yesterday's errors serve only as media of contrast to amplify the present sense of gratitude that glories in such progress as now manifests." Paul put it plainly, "Now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation." The sacred science can only be practiced in the present. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow isn't here yet. The laboratory of alchemy is the eternal now. So, what does the sacred science ask of you? To master yourself before you try to master the world. To use your freedom responsibly, creating only what blesses and uplifts. To recognize your unique gift and bring it forward. To live in the present, where God's power flows. Alchemy, Saint Germain tells us, is not about secret codes or hidden chambers. It's about learning to transmute the base qualities of the human nature into an altar of living reality. And that altar is you.
Thank you for joining us today. And if you enjoyed this message, please subscribe and share. Until next time, be blessed and keep shining your light.